bring the Goldust character back and maybe the angle of him being behind GTV.
Hey, maybe he'll be in the Battle Royal on Sunday.
Yeah. I would, I don't know what the decision-making process is. I would bet against it. I mean, as far as Goldust character, I don't see them going back to the Goldust character. As far as Dustin Runnels,
I don't think they have any use for him.
I don't think that they would take Dustin Runnels unless it's... But, you need... Well, they got enough guys, because you need about 30, 35 guys just to have a TV show. But, I don't know that you need him.
And they always have their own guys they can bring up.
Yeah.
They're not going to necessarily need 30 or 35 WCW guys, because,
right.
if anyone who watches WCW TV, lately there's just been guys showing up like Kid Romeo all the time. People aren't going to know where they came from.
Well, and the other one also is that they also can line up some of the ECW guys like Tajiri, Guido, good workers, and send them over there. There's a spot for them.
Yeah.
And they're younger guys, so I think...
Maybe that 24 is the limit right now.
Yeah. See, if Steve Lombardi is Kimchi, who will be Doink at WrestleMania? Steve Kern, Matt Bourne.
He'll get thrown out and do a run-in his other gimmick.
Let's see. Dave, do you ever think WWF would own WCW? The last 6 months, sure. I knew it was a possibility, but, if you go back a year, no, never. Do you have any idea what talent WWF acquired in the WCW purchase? We thought, basically, 24 mid-card contracts is what they're picking up for now. They have they obviously have the ability to acquire any talent they want. And with no real opposition, basically, they're, anyone they want, the odds are, they're either, the guys are going to have a choice of either not wrestling at all or wrestling under the WWF's terms. There's no leverage. It's like if you go in there and Vince McMahon offers, let's just say, Bill Goldberg, example, $300,000 a year, which would be an insulting offer to Bill Goldberg. And he just goes, no. It's like, okay. What's he going to do?
See ya.
So, it's like, okay, there's nowhere for him to work. He can't make that money anywhere else. Actually, he might be able to make that money in Pride. But again, that's probably a bad example. Scott Steiner probably could go into Pride, although that would be a terrible idea. But he probably could make some good money. Yeah.
I guess if they fed him some guys, but if we're going to be like
no, but I'm just saying
somebody to do what they were doing.
No, but the problem was the injury thing. Yeah. Even if he could beat people, he's very injury prone. You don't want to get in real fights. Not that he's not a tough guy, because obviously he's a super, super tough guy, but, he could get, I just sense that he would, winning or losing a fight like that with a real fighter, between his back and everything, it's just not a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
We'll hopefully have Alex Marbez up as soon as the press conference concludes, and we'll maybe have some more answers and a lot more questions when that thing is over. Let's see. Now that the WWF owns WCW, this is from Bill Zetler, and Vince is letting his son Shane run it, which is not definite, but, figurehead-wise, it's going to be run by the World Wrestling Federation. It's not going to be like Shane McMahon running it, although I think from a television standpoint, that's probably how they'll try to portray it, because the idea is if Shane makes a go of it himself, it'll be, people will accept him as, like a real great promoter on his own right rather than just Vince's son.
The eventual replacement.
And, it's going to be a three-way, everyone says that the smartest, of the kids is Stephanie.
Mm-hmm.
I've always heard that. And certainly in the last year, more than ever. Shane, Stephanie, and Marissa were the names that Vince said. I forgot. I don't even remember which show it was. He did those two shows yesterday, but I think it was Stern. It was Stern. Okay, he mentioned that they would be the ones who would run the company. Anyway, will he try to run it like WWF? I think that's pretty much a definite that they would follow the WWF formulas. Let's see. Do you think Nash will come back as Diesel? No.
Let's ask the question this way. Do you think Nash will come back?
I can tell you at the meeting, everybody was negative about him. Very negative. Now, that doesn't mean 6 months from now he won't be back.
Mm-hmm.
They may... Put it this way, he will not be back at anywhere close to the money he's making. But, he's got a no-cut deal for, 16 more months? Now, I'll tell you what, Kevin Nash today, how, for all that time Kevin Nash was sort of really happy that deal was about to come up? You know what I mean? So he could play both sides against the other and get, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I think now he probably wished that he'd resign an extension.
You know, when you really think about it, how much time is he left? 16 months, or what'd you say?
Like 15, I think 15 months.
Okay, let's say he has 15 or 16 months left. Yeah. And, Time Warner has to pay him unless, he offers to be bought out?
Yeah, and why would he?
Why would he do that? If he was smart, which he is, why not just sit on it for 15 months, get your $30,000 a week or whatever, and by the time a year and 6 months is up, might be a situation where WWF goes, maybe we could actually use this guy.
No, and you know what else?
He's pretty quiet and he hasn't caused any trouble for a year and 6 months.
Because no one's seen him. You know what else? On that account is that right now, because so many guys are coming in all at once, so to speak, this whole crew's coming in, it's going to be hard for anyone to stand out above anyone else because there's so many. But in like 18 months, the nature of wrestling, you need to bring in new guys at certain times to shop. Right. Sitting on the sidelines, if some of these guys that have money are smart, they should go and get their injuries fixed or just, go to Japan for a while and kind of stay out of the mainstream and just kind of tell, if they're smart, a few of them, they should kind of go like, I want to spend some time with my family. And then 6 months to a year from now, someone's going to need to bring in new talent that can get over. As a main eventer. There's always going to be new talent, but new talent that can come over as a main eventer. And by being on the sidelines, you may prove to be far more valuable than someone who's brought in this big group of people being brought in right now.
Yeah.
It's an interesting strategy. And he may take that, and if he does, and then he gets in.
That will cement it once and for all.
What a smart guy he will be. Let's see, he goes, I don't see WCW being built as an equal to WWF, but rather a farm system with 24 mid-card contracts, a dozen ECW guys, and moving over guys like Gangrel, K-Quick, and S.A. Rios. We don't know about those. And they may. And a few top Memphis guys like the Mean Street Posse, plus a Booker T and a DDP. They will have a nice farm team for the big-time WWF. What do you think? If they come across as the WWF B team, they will not sell hardly any pay-per-views. They'll be in the same situation they're in now. Mm-hmm. And that's not a profitable situation. They got to come across as a very vital. They don't have to be better than the WWF, but they have to be a very vital, exciting promotion that does not have a B team stigma. B team wrestling right now, especially if it's WWF B team, they're not going to be able to make money off of it. And then when they do the interpromotional, and everyone sees it doesn't make the B team, the B team against the A team. That's no big deal.
Yeah.
That'd be like,
right now there's no reason for them to not create them and make them into an A team. They own it. It's their own business.
Yep.
Why would you bury a part of your own business or make part of your own business look like it's secondary to another part of your business?
I cannot tell you any reason why, but I can sure point to Jim Crockett Promotions and Mid-South Sports in 1987 and say that I can give you a great precedent of that exact thing that you just said.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a time when Jim Crockett Promotions needed revitalization in the main events. They bought a territory that had a lot of talent, a great television network, and they brought the guys in and buried them and wouldn't let them get over, and most of them quit, and they ended up, gaining absolutely nothing from it. Mm-hmm. Let's go to the phone lines because we're jammed. Let's start with Chris. Chris, what's up? And I want everyone tonight, let's move these things along because I know that a lot of people are going to want to call up. Okay, Chris, you can go first.
Hi, how's it going?
Hey.
It's going really good.
I just have a question about WrestleMania and then a question about the whole WCW deal. Okay. What are they going to do with pay-per-views? Are they going to immediately produce the ones that are scheduled, or are they just going to hold off until they have something established for a TV product?
I don't know, but I would think that they're going to hold off. There's no point in doing a WCW pay-per-view until the WCW TV starts, and we don't know the date of its TV starting. And I would think that when the TV starts, they shouldn't do a pay-per-view for at least a couple of months. I wouldn't do it the first month. I don't know, Brian, what are your thoughts?
I would hold off. They're certainly not doing May or anything like that, none of the ones they've got planned, or the old WCW had planned. But you got to get TV and then do stuff, and I'd hold off.
Why is TNN cold to having more wrestling? It's the only thing on their station that draws anything. So why would they be against having another program?
Because of the negative stigma of wrestling.
But don't they know firsthand that that's the only thing that's been holding their station together? You know what I mean?
Well, it's by far the highest rated thing on the station.
That's what I mean.
Nothing even comes close. But yeah. I don't think that they want to be the station. They've got 4 hours a week of wrestling. I don't know that they want more hours. They just spent, $500 million or some, and that number could be way off. They spent a lot of money for the Star Trek rights and things like that. And that's, for better or for worse, that kind of programming is what these networks want to build around. And they want to build around original programming. And wrestling is one of those things where everyone knows it can draw ratings, but again, the television, we've seen it. The television community is totally cold on wrestling right now.
Okay. And last thing on the WCW thing, with Bischoff, is he technically under WCW contract? Is just something about him being part of the creative team or something?
He's under a WCW contract, but he's not one of the contracts that they're buying.
Okay, so would they even consider using him as a TV figurehead?
They might. I don't know that he. I don't know that he would want to do it though. I think that Bischoff, if Bischoff had his way, I'm sure he'd want to run his. I don't think he'd want to sign a long-term contract with. But you don't know. Hey, you don't know.
Maybe they'll finally sign him as an announcer and humiliate
That's right.
Kevin Kelly.
The two things on WrestleMania. I'll try to keep it quick.